All right, we are live on YouTube. Let me make sure my volume is up. Yes, it is. We are live on YouTube. I'm just waiting on the video to connect on my other monitor so that I can grab that link and put it in our free business mastermind group so that our community can join us easily and conveniently on the YouTube live. Okay, let's see here. That is the link. Let me put it in the group. All right, that is cycling and posting. Cool beans. Now let me just make sure that I can see the live chat. And I can. So I feel like we can officially get started, y'all. Welcome to her first six-figure morning show. That is an interactive coaching and training experience as a part of a free business mastermind group to position Black and brown female online service-based entrepreneurs to generate your first six figures by making the money and creating time freedom. This week's blog is at shaycannon.com/smarter. That is shaycannon.com/smarter. Because what we are talking about this week is work smarter, not harder. The shift that changes everything. Now, I'm going to tell you, I really wanted to do this the week that we're going to do this week last week. But what I understood was I needed to reiterate ways that you can sell every day before we did this topic that we're going to do this week, because you needed that skill set of how to sell every day for this week to be most effective. Okay. So work smarter, not harder. The shift that changes everything. For women building service-based businesses, the pressure to hustle can feel relentless. Long hours, constant effort. It seems like the only way forward. But hard work alone doesn't create profitable, sustainable businesses. So smart work does. Working smarter means focusing on high-impact tasks, strategic actions, and leveraging growth instead of staying stuck in a cycle of overwork with little return. When a business is struggling to reach six figures, the instinct is to push harder. But success isn't about doing more. It's about doing what actually moves that needle. The value of working smarter is freedom. Freedom to grow, to scale, and to build a business that supports your life, not one that drains it. In a world that glorifies busyness, choosing to work smarter is a radical act of self-leadership, one that transforms effort into results. Let's have an honest conversation this week about what it looks like and what gets in the way of this important shift of working smarter, not harder, okay? And we haven't even gotten into the obstacle that we're going to talk about today. I just wanted to make sure that we're on the same page. Now, today's obstacle is fear and sabotage. Fear and sabotage has a lot of us working harder instead of smarter. So fear in business often disguises itself as perfectionism, over preparation, and waiting for the right time, right? So hesitating to raise your prices, avoiding doing sales activities, delaying launches, all of that stem from a lack of, some of it may be a lack of skill, but a lot of it is from fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of failure. So the belief that more preparation is needed creates a cycle of overwork, underpricing, and exhausting effort with very little return. So working smarter means breaking free from this pattern, owning the value of the offer, embracing action over endless tweaking and changing and adapting, and recognizing that success isn't about feeling ready, but about moving forward anyway. The shift isn't about increasing revenue. It's about stepping into confidence, stepping into your freedom, and the desire to grow your business, okay? Now, that's what's in the blog because it's mostly mindset. But you know, here on the morning show, we give you more. In fact, we give you at least 10 actionable steps and strategies to come out from under this obstacle, okay? So let me pull out my show notes. So fear and self-sabotage. You need to sell boldly, raise prices, and take action is going to be the sum of the things you need to do. I'm going to give you 10 ways to do those things. But now hopefully you see why we had to have how to sell every day before we talked about this week, because I can't tell you to go out there and boldly sell, and then I haven't yet given you strategies on how to sell more often. So that's how we ended up with today. So actionable step number 1, you need to normalize imperfect action, okay? Perfection is not required for success. Did you know that? Take action before feeling ready and refine along the way. Again, one of my quotes is that perfection without execution is delusion. You are not going to be able to make anything perfect that you haven't acted and executed, because there's a whole nother education on the other side of execution. So we have to remember our goal is to get it out there so that we can get the data that we need to make it better. Everything we do before we get it out there, that's theory. So you shouldn't get stuck in and stay in theory. Go out there and get that real data. And that only comes from you actually executing. All right. Number 2, set a bold pricing standard. Okay. Charge based on the transformation provided, not your fear of what others will pay. Create pricing that reflects true value. Did you know that while some of y'all are scared to price too much, the people that need what you sell, they kind of know what the value of it is. And when you come in way under that, they basically think you don't know what you're doing, because they understand the value of the transformation that they need. And so when your price is too low, the very people that you want to work with are not going to work with you, because they're like, you can't possibly be doing what I need because that's priced too low. Okay, keep that in mind. Number 3, reframe sales as service. We talked about this, right? Selling is not begging. Selling is not con artistry. It's providing the opportunity for a solution. Okay, so we're talking to people who actually have the problem, and we're talking to people who would benefit from our solution. Stop looking at it as sales and look at it as an opportunity to serve. All right, so approach sales as an opportunity to help, not a chore to avoid. All right, use pricing confidence exercises. I know for some of us, you know, that imposter syndrome is real, even though I've only heard it within the last couple of years. But sometimes we're just afraid to really put that price on there for the transformation. So you need to start doing some exercises that help you to get there, okay? So some of the things that you can do is you can list the results of your offer. What are the results that it provides? Like, what does life look like when you solve the problem for them with your service? Okay. Because when you start getting into the spirit and the energy of how it helps, then you can start being in the energy of it's worth the price. Okay. Another thing you can do is compare it to real life benefits. Recognize that underpricing diminishes your credibility. We talked about that a little bit, but did you also understand that when your price is low, not only do you repel the people that you want to work with, but you attract the type of people you actually don't want to work with. Because when your price is too low, I don't know if you've ever made the mistake of pricing your stuff too low, but let me tell you how it attracts a special kind of person. And that person is always going to want more and more and more and more and more. They tend to be the clients that are not very understanding and don't extend grace at all, even though your price is this low. Okay. We don't want to be bothered with that. So we can't be out here confidence pricing. So we need to do things that build our confidence as an exercise, so that each iteration of our pricing is getting us there. So if you're the type of person that, you know, you just cannot bring yourself to price it up to the transformation the very first time, you need a plan on how to get it there. Okay. So maybe it's you start out with a low price, and the next time that you offer it is higher, and the next time that you offer is higher, but do something that exercises that brain and that mindset to get that price up to where it needs to be. All right. Number 5, develop a sales ritual, okay? Create a daily or weekly habit of engaging in sales generating activities. What does that look like? That can look like outreach. It can look like follow-ups. It can look like DMing pitches or direct pitching. We talked about all the ways you can do this last week. That's why I wanted to have last week first. But you need to make all of those strategies I gave you last week on how to sell every day a part of your everyday and a part of your every week. Okay. So develop a sales ritual, sales routine. Number 6, track and celebrate wins. Okay. Create a daily or weekly habit of being cognizant of when something is working out the way that you want it to, so that you can go back and say, okay, this is what the data is telling me, and this is where the win is. Because wins, small and large, build momentum. Okay. It is like evidence that what we thought is so. Momentum and small wins and large wins is what helps you to defeat things like imposter syndrome. So keep a success journal about your sales is a great thing to do. You can keep a journal or, keep data about client transformation so that you can use it later to create these case studies, but also to just, again, evidence. You want to keep positive feedback. Those are testimonials. All of these things together reinforce your confidence and counteract your self-doubt that may lead you into that imposter syndrome. And it'll also help you to increase those prices. All right. Number 7, limit over consumption of learning. Okay. Over consumption of learning. I really pay attention when people keep telling me I'm a join this group and this program and that and that and that and that and that, right? It's unfocused learning and it's overconsumption is what it is. Now, the way to best do things is to understand what is going on in your business and what do you need right now to move that needle. Okay. What do you need right now to move the needle? And then you invest your time and maybe even money into consuming things to solve the problem you have right now that will help you to immediately move a needle. That's how you work smarter, not harder. Some of y'all think you need 75 programs and you got to go through all these courses and all of that to move forward. No. What is going on in your business right now that you need to know more about so that you can get unstuck for that thing? Let's solve for that. Okay. So that is going to be set a deadline to stop researching and start executing, even when you're focused on the problem. Learning without action creates a cycle of delay and hesitation. And again, you're doing a lot of work. You're busy. It's for your business, but it's not necessarily the smart way to do things. You're delaying actual success and results. Number 8 is going to be adopt a CEO mindset, okay? And you do that by operating like you are a business owner and not an employee, okay? You're going to make decisions for long-term strategy rather than short-term fear. See, when you work for somebody else, you can have fear because they're leading the company. They're more fearless than you. They're going to override that. And plus, they have more employees than just you. You and your business, especially if you're a solopreneur, you can't afford to be the scared one. You can't afford to allow fear to impact your business. You are the business. So you have to let go of fear, do it anyway, and let's get out here and move the needle forward. That's how we, one of my girlfriends who is also a business entrepreneur, she wrote a book called Do It Anyway. And that's what you need to do. It anyway. Yep, Nike, just do it, okay? Number 9, create a minimum sales action plan. A minimum sales action plan. So you can set a goal for a minimum number of sales calls, a minimum number of pitches that you're going to do, a minimum number of direct sales efforts that you're going to do in a week, in a month, or whatever. But we have a whole bunch of strategies that we can do, but let's pick out the minimum number that we're going to do on the routine basis. So we're going a step further than just setting a sales routine. And I'm telling you what needs to be a part of that routine. Not the same thing over and over again, but minimally, how can you tap into all of the strategies so that the data can tell you which one of the strategies are working better? And now we can devote more time to that. Okay. So create a minimum sales action plan. Number 10, practice publicly Owning your expertise. Now, we talked before about bragging and how women in particular have a problem with bragging. But did you know that is exactly what marketing is? Bragging, telling people all of the finer points of your offer and of you as the expert that is servicing the offer. So regularly share insights, case studies, and testimonials to position your authority in the industry. Okay. Build credibility with the right audience. I would love it if you just asked yourself at the top of the week, how can I brag on myself this week for the furtherance of my business? Because see, that's working smarter, not harder, right? So a part of it is really actually in real life being good at what you do, right? That's a part of it. But if nobody knows, then you never get to service more people and they never get to experience that. So yes, be good at what you do actually, but I want you to have the audacity of a mediocre person. Okay. I'm just going to say person. Okay. Because we know mediocre people are some of the biggest braggers in the world. Don't be good at nothing, but baby, the way they speak, the way they had that megaphone out, that's how I want you to be. Okay. Start every week with, how can I brag on myself, my business this week? Okay, that is what marketing is. All right, I'm going to go back through the 10 without all the extra, but we're going to start with Keith. And the question is, what are some things that stop you from selling boldly, raising prices and taking action in your business? And were any of the strategies shared today helpful for you to work smarter, not harder, when it comes to that? So that is going to be the question. Let me put it over here on YouTube also. Good morning, Tracy. Good morning, Glow, over here on YouTube. You guys can use the live chat to answer the question for today. Let me go back through the 10 without all the extras. Number 1, I want you to normalize imperfect action. Number 2, set a bold pricing standard. Number 3, reframe sales as service. Number 4, use a pricing confidence exercise, okay? Number 5, develop a sales ritual or routine. Number 6, track and celebrate wins. Number 7, limit overconsumption of learning. Number 8, adopt a CEO mindset. Number 9, create a minimum sales action plan. Number 10 is going to be practice publicly owning your expertise, or in short, brag. I need you to brag more often. Okay. Keith said number 3 and number 6. So that's going to be reframe sales as service and track and celebrate your wins. Yes, Keith. We definitely want you to do those. Definitely. So let's go to Sasha. Sasha, what are some things that may stop you from selling boldly, raising your prices, and taking action? And were any of the strategies we shared today helpful in helping you to work smarter, not harder?
Okay, well, I think all of them will be helpful, but the ones that I highlighted that I know affect me now as I'm like trying to launch or building to be able to launch is the first three. Normalize imperfect action. I think I'm trying to just perfect everything, like my pitch deck and this and that. And I get to the point where I'm driving myself crazy, even just picking my colors and like tweaking this, like I like this tan color and I'm tweaking it just ever so slightly. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I just need to pick one. And then the set a bold pricing strategy, or really trying to, I think we've talked about this before over the last month or so since I've been joining these, like basing my pricing on the transformation, I think is really key because I think I was really going to underprice myself until I started working with you guys and then Anisha from your ecom strategist and whatnot. And then reframing sales as a service, like and approaching sales as an opportunity to help more so than just like selling my service, I guess, if that makes sense. And then also after Keith called out number 6, I was like, yeah, that is super important. I try to do that in the corporate world too. Is like I have a folder called like pat on the back. So whenever someone gives me like a shout out, or we call them Homer at Home Depot, like things like that. They're nice. They kind of boost your confidence. So, but all of them will be helpful for me.
Love that. Thank you, Sasha. I love that. I love it. All right, let's go to Dr. LaFera. Dr. LaFera, what are some things that stop you from selling boldly, raising prices, and taking action? And were any of the strategies shared today helpful for you to start working smarter and not harder?
I'll say that And well, right now, what I'm going to start doing more is tracking and celebrating wins because I don't track and celebrate them. I most of the time have been looking at what I didn't get done, more than I've been looking at what I did get done. And then I have been guilty of over consuming like the information, the education stuff before because I one didn't um, want to admit that I needed to kind of, I guess, focus more on what I was doing, and that would have helped me to be more educated on what I wanted to teach and kind of like zoom in on that quicker. So um, I don't always write your numbers down, so like, but I write what you say. But so now I'm gonna start publicly owning my expertise. I know that's the last one, and I'm also gonna um the track and celebrate the wins. I think that's number 7.
Mhm.
And I like the part about the creating a success journal because for me that's part of tracking. So
Love it. Love it. That success journal, I'm telling you, it's gonna work wonders for you. It also could later on serve to help you with sales copy. Because there is your sales page should have different sections, and one of those sections should be social proof or proof of transformation. And that's usually where we put testimonials and things like that. Well, sometimes we need case studies and we need evidence, and we in our minds we're just doing the work and we sometimes forget about how we've gotten people these wins. When you keep that journal, you have something to go back on and create better converting sales copy from. So it's a great idea to do. I'm just going to tell you. And then you don't even have to do like a written notebook. You can do a Word document. You can do, what is that, OneNote or Evernote, something like that. Just have somewhere where you're just kind of documenting these wins and how you've gotten clients to where they want to be. Okay. Cool beans. Let's go to Dr. Latoya. Dr. Latoya, what are some things that stop you from selling boldly, raising prices, and taking action? Were any of the strategies shared today helpful in helping you to work smarter, not harder?
Yes, I'm definitely going to incorporate number 10. Um, and in this moment, I don't remember what it is,
I
but that's
got you.
the
So
one.
number 10 was practice publicly owning your
Yes,
expertise. So that's the brag. We need you to brag.
yes. I love the question that you asked about at the start of the week. Basically, what can I brag about myself on? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just really not good at that.
Yeah.
And so I've become aware of it. It's like those things, like mentally I'm like, yes, I'm gonna do it, but I still haven't done it. So I've
Yeah.
actually started taking screenshots when people send me stuff, but I still haven't put it out publicly. So I just have phone screenshots in my phone now. But I am going to now, I'm literally gonna make a day where I say, what today is the day, what am I gonna brag on myself about publicly? So
Yes.
that's what I'm gonna
And
do.
incorporate it into your processes, Dr. Latoya, because I mean, I just wouldn't think about it, right? Like I would know that I could bring the transformation and I wouldn't think about how or what people were saying. That's why I made it a part of my process. That's why every morning on this morning show, a part of the question is, was this helpful? Right? I need that feedback. Was it helpful? And if it was, now I can bank that win in that social proof. So yeah, make it a part of your process is start asking and to start documenting what was said and the feedback and the actions that were taken that actually brought about results. Make all of that a part of the process is what I would say.
Yeah, I'm in the group coaching program right now, and normally in my group coaching programs, I don't record the check-ins.
Mm-hmm.
And last week when we did check-ins, you were in my head. I was like, "Damn, I should have been recording this," because the breakthroughs that they had from week 1 to week 2 were like amazing, and I was like, I don't have it. So now I am going to kind of reframe how I do that so that I get the visual proof of them saying the breakthroughs that they had.
Exactly. And that's why when I was forming your communications and stuff, that's why I put the check-in there so that you would now have that proof to brag on. That's why the check-in is there, so that you can go back and it's a prompt for them to tell you about the transformations rather than at the end of the program asking for testimonials. So yes, ma'am, please start recording it. All right, cool beans. Let's go to Dr. Ayana. What are some things that stop you from selling boldly, raising prices, and taking action? And also, were any of the strategies shared today helpful in you working smarter, not harder?
Morning, everyone. Every single item on the list was of benefit to me, truly helpful. But I think number 4, which is use pricing confidence exercises, and also number 5, rise to the top, develop a sales ritual. A number of them, I kind of dibble and dabble with, and I kind of keep in mind the feedback, but don't formally note it all the time, and then it slips my mind. So that'll be helpful. But for sure, developing a sales ritual where I'm focused and pointing my efforts at definitely trying to target making sales. I have to make a direct, deliberate effort at that, so I don't just leave it up to random happenstance that it'll happen, because it won't. I've got to focus on it and be intentional. And this price and confidence thing is real. Because I thought about I had a conversation with Dr. Tachi a couple of nights ago, and I said to her, Tach, I can't put these prices on paper, because in my mind, my confidence about them are not there. But then I said to myself, I remember a professor of mine back in 2000, when I was, in a doctoral program, saying back then what her pricing was. And it is, compared to now, it's minuscule, but I thought it was huge back then. So I really have to work on number 4, and letting people know that there is a value and not diminishing it. So thank you for this. Yes.
Of course, of course. All right, Kimberly, we know you're at the Dream Funder, but you can use the comment section to let us know your answer to the question. Over here on YouTube Live, Tracy said, I've got to stop seeking perfection. Yes, ma'am. You'll never get things out if you just keep planning and keep perfecting it. Get it out there, because on the other side of that execution is the information you need for actual perfection. Practice makes perfect, not planning, okay? Glow said, I have to start bragging on myself more. I've noticed I've done a lot, and I do a lot as well, that I don't boast about enough. Yes, ma'am. You definitely need to brag more. And she said that is for her podcast and the lot business. Most definitely. At the end of the day, us as women, we have a unique inner monologue about bragging based on the way we were raised as females. If you are from the South, if you are in an uber religious family, it could be even worse, because we are taught to be seen and not heard. We are taught to look pretty and not share our brain. We are taught that our visual is our huge value, not what we think. So it's a lot to overcome for a lot of us as women. Also, if you happen to be BIPOC, Black or Indigenous people of color, that cultural thing now becomes an issue, because they look at you as bottom of the totem pole, and what do you know? And all of that kind of thing. So we have things to overcome, but we can do it. And keeping that journal and keeping track of the evidence and the data is something that's going to help you to be more and more bold about the things you need to be bragging about. So do not skip the exercise of journaling these wins and keeping track of the transformations that you have gotten people, right? I remember the first time that I did a discovery call with somebody, and they were like, do you have any case studies of how you've done transformation for your clients? You've gotten transformations for your clients, right? Which was a fair request, because, as a fractional chief operating officer, my fees are not inexpensive. They are, high ticket fees. And so it was a fair request of them to ask of me. But that's when I realized, hey, I've gotten transformation, but I've not documented transformations into a case study. So now I can come out with these case studies based on that request. I was able to sit down and think about the fact that I took somebody's business from them not making money and doing everything, even though they were paying a team, to getting them to their first 6 figures and then multiple 6 figures, right? Now I have a case study that I took a client from multiple 6 figures at 25, 2005, it was $250,000 a year to the $250,000 mark, just by creating a program for them that was the next natural step for their current clients, right? I have these case studies now of how I'm actually getting these big wins and these big transformations because of that request. Like, I really sat down and thought about it, and it took me a minute. That's why now I'm really keeping documenting these transformations that I get people, and I make it a part of my process to ask about transformations, because sometimes people are having huge transformations and all they tell you is, you helped me a lot. And you have no idea how you've transformed their life because you've not asked. So we got to make it a part of our process to start asking, because you may be surprised at the answer and how now you feel more and more emboldened to brag, because, ain't nothing like somebody telling you the big win you helped them to get, to help you to feel like you the shit, because you are the shit. All right. Cool beans. All right. Does anybody have any questions or value adds on fear and sabotaging as working too hard, and working smarter is you boldly selling, raising your prices, and taking action? Anybody have a question or a value add? Well, while you think about it, one thing that I want to push this week is our membership, right? Because our membership, which used to be the quarterly CEO productivity membership, is now the Her Quarterly Focus and Momentum membership, because I have rebranded it to be about that momentum based on the goal setting and goal achieving that we push for, because it's not just time management and it's not just productivity. We are actually focusing on goals that move the needle and push our business forward. So today's topic, how the membership helps you, is action over perfection. Like, we help you to understand that you have to be strategic, not in your brain about things. And this is how we set our goals. We talk about, we have the coaching sessions where we're talking about what's going on that's impacting your confidence so that you can't boldly do things. We talk about mindset reframes for bold moves. Most of it has to do with boundary setting, right? Or how you make decisions, or how you prioritize tasks to move the needle. We talk about accountability for your follow through. We have these sprints and things for your goals every month. So go to shaycannon.com/membership, because if you are interested in this membership, you actually need to go ahead and join before this price goes up. Because I have already decided that Q2, which is right behind us, right? It's coming up. We are raising that price from the $97 a month to the $147 a month. And so you want to get in while you can save about $50. Dr. LaFera, did you have a question?
I didn't have nothing. Well, yeah, I did. I didn't have a question about what you said this morning, but I had well, one of the things you said when you were talking is something that ties into what you told us today. And I think that was, it might have been number 1, or when you were telling us not to do stuff once it's perfect, just to build our muscle, and the offer would come, and you just showed us that, because you just told us you changed the offer that we all came in on, because you showed up for us. But and it was okay, because we wanted what you were doing, because we saw you could get results, but it didn't matter the name, or necessarily the focus at first, because we knew you would get us there. So I just noticed that when you're talking, but and then I had a question about so when you go live, I noticed that I see an email and it pops up. Is that like a go high level automation, or like does YouTube do that to? I
No, that's a manual process. Don't get too disappointed. I remember when Dr. Dr. Latoya first was like, "Oh, that's a great idea. I think I want to do that. What are you using for that automation?" I said, "It's manual." She said, "Oh yeah, I won't be doing that."
so
Yeah, so it's
you take time to do that too. Like as soon as it goes live, you hit a button and it does
yeah.
that.
No. So it's a matter of process. You know, I'm a process person. I'm a operations person. So all of my stuff are processes. Even though it may not be an automatic thing, I still find a way in a process to make it easier for myself. So what happens is every broadcast day, what I schedule 2 emails, one to remind you the next morning, right, to hop on, and then one that goes in the afternoon that now has a link to the replay and a link to the show notes. So
Okay.
I'm a day ahead on the reminders, and I'm same day with the show notes and the replay link. You see what I'm saying? But and it's, you know, that email looks the same every time. So I'm only changing out like 2 or 3 things on the email, and I'm done. Like it takes less than 5 minutes.
So you go into go high level every morning.
Actually, it's still an active campaign.
Oh, okay.
That one is still an active campaign. But if I had to pay regular price for active campaign, it would be in go high level.
Oh, okay.
But don't forget, remember when I snapped on them and was like, go back and see when I started working with y'all. And so I only pay $25 a month.
Yeah.
Whereas on a plan that don't even exist for everybody else. So that's why some of my stuff is still over there.
Okay.
But Dr. LaFera, I can't do it every day, but my Sunday show where I go live, I do now go in and send out the going live email, and all I do and go high level is I just clone the previous email and then change the topic.
Exactly.
Okay.
And
So
send that
that's
out.
a process that makes it easy. You see what I'm saying? So even though the whole thing may not be automated, you can have some things that are templated that makes it a quicker thing to do.
Okay.
Very easy. And so that's how I do things that I can't fully automate or that I can't just not have to touch. There's going to be some type of format, some type of template that's going to be applied. Just like my emails that are now going out Mondays and Wednesdays, right? It's going to be in the same order, right? So that frequently asked one is going to be, it's going to tell you what we're doing in the email. I'm going to give you the question and then I'm going to give the answer. And then that bottom part is always going to look the same. In the Hello Monday email, it's always going to be about what I learned and then what happened last week and then what we're doing this week. And then that bottom is going to be the same. I like themes and templates to make things easier on me so I can get it done quickly if I can't get it done automated. So was that helpful?
Yeah, that was helpful.
Cool beans. All right. Because I mean, at the end of the day, we were the first tech, right? So us doing things manually was the first tech, but you can do things in a process or a standard operating procedure, make it, where it is the same every time so that, it's not so much work for you. And then you do other little things to make stuff easier, right? Because the reminder email, if you notice, the reminder email doesn't take you directly to the episode. It just takes you to the channel on the reminder email. But I have fixed my channel to where if we're live, that's the first video. So that's helpful. So the link to the actual live while we're live, I actually only put that in the group. And even when I put stuff in the group every day, you see, I do it the same way. The language is the same. I just plug in the pertinent updated information. And the graphics are made ahead of time. So I'm just releasing it basically. So that's not automated either, but there's a templated way and procedure to do it that makes it not take long at all. Cool beans. Did anybody else have a question or a value add about what we talked about today? Conquering fear to become a bolder entrepreneur as a way to fight against fear and sabotage so that we can work smarter, not harder. Well, you know that this morning show is more like class for our free business mastermind group. And with class comes notes. And so there's only 2 ways to get my notes. One is to be in the free business mastermind group, and they live in the files section of the group. The second way is that you can get the notes and the entire morning show in your email inbox by going to shaycannon.com/show to sign up. And what you're going to get are 2 emails every broadcast day. These are the emails that Dr. Feifer was asking about. So in the morning, you're going to get one that is a reminder for you to hop on the YouTube live. And in the afternoon, you're going to get an email with a link to the replay and a link to the show notes. All right. So go to shaycannon.com/show to sign up for that. Tomorrow starts season 3 of my show, Design Your CEO Life, on Dr. Tachi's Indie Soup Media Network. So make sure that you are subscribed to her YouTube channel, Indie Soup Media, so that you can meet us in the live chat at 8 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow night. If you want to see replays from season 1 and season 2, go to shaycannon.com/design, and all of those episodes are there for you. Thursday is Fuck Up Night. It's our virtual happy hour for the paid membership, but the free group is invited to join us at 7:30. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring what's fucking up in your business so we can fix it over drinks. The event details are in the free group, all right? And if you are in the paid group, you know that your stuff is on your Google Calendar or on the membership dashboard. Friday is a Get Shit Done work session for the paid membership. But again, the free group is invited to come on the last half. So check the group, the free group, for event details, and check your Google Calendar and member dashboard if you are in a paid membership. All right. Cool beans. If you want to know more about me, your host, Shay Cannon, and how to join our uber valuable free business mastermind group, please check the description below for the link and any additional information. Also, this episode, I know you got value. I know you did. So do me a favor and give us a thumbs up, like the episode. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so that you don't miss anything that is transformational for your business growth. And understand, this is only one video of a 4-part series. So check out the other videos. And with that, the studio is closing. Have a great day. 5, 4,